and Salam Malaysia Madani. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jessica Lee and you're watching News at 10. Our headlines for tonight. Saudi Arabia interest in investing proof of Malaysia's political stability. KPDN to conduct Payung Rahma impact study. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim today wished members of the Royal Malaysia Police, or PDRM, a happy 216th Police Day. He also expressed his appreciation to all PDRM personnel for their service and devotion to the people and the country. Elaborating further on the matter through a posting on his Facebook page, the Premier said the sacrifice of PDRM members in safeguarding and preserving national security will always be remembered forever. Police Day is celebrated every 25th of March. The police force has been in existence in Malaysia since the days of the Malacca Sultanate. Malacca's canonical law created what was essentially a police force in Malaysia in the 15th century through the institution of the Temenggung and Hulu Balang, or royal warriors. Now, following the assimilation of Malacca into the British Empire in 1795, a modern police organisation in Malaysia was formed on the 25th of March 1807, after the Charter of Justice in Pulau Pinang granted, with the state being the first to form a police force. The Saudi Arabian business community's interest to invest in Malaysia is a testament to the political stability in Malaysia. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said this was expressed by the chairman of both the National Chamber of Commerce and Jeddah Chamber of Commerce, whom he met during his official visit to the kingdom. Commenting further on the matter, the Premier said they had responded very well to his invitation to invest in the country.
Both of them not only said how pleased they were, but gave an assurance they would immediately reciprocate. They were waiting for this. They know the country well. They've been there from the 80s, 90s. But now they're waiting for this moment where there is clear stability, clear direction, and commitment to ensure the ease of doing business and rid the country of corruption.
Datuk Seri Anwar said this in a press conference at the end of his 3-day visit to the kingdom. The Premier was accompanied by Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Zamri Abdul Kadir and Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fazil, among others, on the visit. The Ministry of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living, or KPDN, will conduct an impact study on the Payung Rahma initiative this June. Minister Datuk Seri Salahuddin Ayub said the study would be done 6 months after the initiative was introduced, and the results of the study would be presented to the Prime Minister, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, who is also Finance Minister.
Barulah nanti lepas 6 bulan, kita akan lihat apakah yang kerajaan boleh bantu mereka. Mungkin dalam bajet tahun harapan akan kita lihat nanti tawaran-tawaran ataupun inisiatif ataupun pemotongan cukai dari pihak kerajaan terhadap mereka yang melibatkan diri dengan serius dalam inisiatif Payung Rahmah ini.
The minister said that so far, the Jualan Rahma initiative, implemented voluntarily by the industry without involving government expenditure, has been able to reduce the prices of almost 12,000 essential items such as cooking oil, drinks, biscuits and clothes. On the government's proposal to introduce the Insurance Rahma initiative, Salahuddin said 2 insurance companies have expressed interest in offering such packages, namely Etika and Allianz. He added that the ministry will need to get approval from Bank Negara and the Ministry of Finance, and if all requirements are met, then the insurance package will be offered to the people. The additional 12 radio frequency identification or RFID lanes on the North-South Plus Expressway have been fully completed and began operations on the 11th of March. Works Minister Datuk Sri Alexander Nantalinggi said that the additional RFID lanes were originally scheduled to be completed in mid-April. However, the work was completed ahead of schedule. Commenting further on the matter through a statement released in his Facebook page today, the minister said the additional RFID lanes are at toll plazas in Setia Alam, Subang, Jalan Duta, Putra Mahkota, Kajang, Kubang Semang, Sungai Besi, Shah Alam, Sungai Buloh, Rawang Selatan and the Penang Bridge. He also said he was given assurance that the RFID system will always be in the best condition. However, he also expects cooperation from RFID users on the Plus Expressway to always use the same RFID lane or payment mode when entering and exiting the toll plazas. Now, at the same time, motorists should ensure that the e-wallet balance is sufficient before starting the journey for a smoother travel experience. He also congratulated Plus Malaysia Berhad for successfully completing the work ahead of schedule. In January, Datuk Sri Nanta announced the additional 12 RFID lanes in several toll plazas on Plus Expressway following complaints by motorists that a lack of such lanes was causing congestion. Prospective Hajj pilgrims this year can now perform Hajj under Rahma Hajj packages priced at 50,000 ringgit and below, offered by travel agencies with Hajj Operator License or PJH, issued by Lembaga Tabung Haji TH. Now, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department of Religious Affairs, Datuk Muhammad Naim Mokhtar, said with the lesser amount, he hopes more prospective Hajj pilgrims can take up the offer.
Jadi Alhamdulillah lah saya dah pergi keseluruhan 23 booth tadi tu yang mewakili 23 PJH tadi. Alhamdulillah mereka ni sambut baik saranan kita dan ada yang offer tadi dalam 43,000, 45,000.
Datuk Muhammad Naim said that the 23 PJHs licensed by TH have strong capacity, expertise and experience and are competent in providing the best services. At the same time, Datuk Muhammad Naim stressed that any individual or company that offers Hajj package services without TH approval may be subject to legal action under the Tabung Haji Act 1995. He also added that 31,600 individuals have been offered to perform the Hajj this year, and the government was still awaiting Saudi Arabia's approval for an additional 350 pilgrims. The minister also said that one of the reasons presented to the Saudi Arabian government is that Malaysia's population has grown to 31.95 million, and he hoped that the appeal would receive due consideration. Coming up next, decision to end Puspacom monopoly on vehicle inspection well received by the public. Now, the rail and bus services operated by Prasarana Malaysia Berhad or Prasarana recorded 1 million passengers last 21st of March, the highest daily number since the country entered the endemic phase. Now, Prasarana in a statement today said it was a leap from the average of 846,000 passengers daily from the 1st of January to 15th of March, with the rail service recording 767,000 passengers, while the bus service recorded 235,000 passengers. The statement read that the figure of 1 million passengers included an average of 100,000 passengers who used the Putrajaya Line MRT service that was launched by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim on the 16th of March. Prasarana further thanked all the passengers who used the services and will continue with efforts to ensure the safety, smoothness and stability of the services are maintained for the benefit of the public. It said before COVID-19 hit the country in early 2020, about 1.2 million people used use the Prasarana services daily. Currently, the public gets to enjoy free rides on the Putrajaya Line Mass Transit System, or the MRT services, including on the feeder bus service for Putrajaya Line MRT from Damansara to Putrajaya Central. It said, adding that the free rides are provided until the 31st of March. The public can get the latest information on the services through Rapid KL's social media channels or through the Pulse application, which can be downloaded for free. Now, the government's move to end the monopoly of Puspacom, or Computerized Vehicle Inspection Centre, starting next year, is seen as the right step towards improving the services offered, as well as giving more options to the public. The Malaysian Muslim Consumers Association, or PPIM, chief activist Datuk Nazim Johan said the move to open the services to qualified parties can create healthy competition among service providers. He said the issue involving services offered by Puspacom is an old issue, and complaints received from the public are not taken seriously, as it is the sole service provider of periodic inspection of motor vehicles. Datuk Nazim also said that with the move, new companies offering the same services will be able to address the shortcomings in Puspacom, thus enabling them to provide better services. Yesterday, Transport Minister Anthony Loke announced that Puspacom will no longer be the sole provider of scheduled motor vehicle inspection for the Road Transport Department, or JPJ, beginning 1st of September 2024. Meanwhile, Datuk Nazim said the decision to end the monopoly must be accompanied by the setting up of a monitoring body to regulate services and offer solutions to complaints regarding the quality of service provided by the companies involved. A total of 9 individuals, including 5 enforcement officers, were arrested on suspicion of smuggling migrants into the country in an operation in Sabah last Thursday. Now, the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, or MACC, in a statement today said the enforcement personnel aged between 30 and 41, and included 2 women, were arrested between 2:30 p.m. and 8:40 p.m. in a joint operation codenamed Op Lancar between the Commission and the National Registration Department, or JPN. The statement said the other 4 individuals, involving 3 men and a woman aged between 37 and 43, and believed to be working as agents for Indonesian workers, were arrested between 3:30 p.m. and 6 p.m. on the same day. According to the statement, the modus operandi of the syndicate was to charge illegal immigrants, or those without valid documents, about 2,500 ringgit per head for their passage to leave Sabah via Tawau Airport to the Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA, using other persons' identities. Now, based on the MACC's investigation, the syndicate, believed to have been operating since 2018, provides boarding passes to bring in between 5 and 20 illegal immigrants on each flight to KLIA. Now, during the operation, the MACC also confiscated several items such as mobile phones, Malaysian identity cards, and Sabah exit stamps, and arrested 12 illegal immigrants. Meanwhile, the Immigration Department, in a separate statement today, confirmed that 5 Sabah Immigration Department officers were arrested by the MACC last Thursday for alleged involvement in the smuggling of illegal immigrants into the country. Its Director General, Datuk Ruslin Juso, said the department is leaving the matter to the MACC to investigate and would extend its cooperation to ensure a transparent and fair investigation. Elaborating further on the matter, Datuk Ruslin said the Immigration Department will not compromise on any of its officers who commit integrity violation, as it tarnishes the good name and image of the department. He further stressed that the department will not protect those involved, and serious action and punishment will be taken, including dismissal against those involved. In our foreign segment, 2 dead after explosion in Pennsylvania chocolate factory. Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong said Singapore will serve as a control tower for Chinese companies in Southeast Asia as China deepens economic ties within the region. Now, in an interview with China Central Television, Lee said Singapore was among the first to establish close economic ties with China in Southeast Asia in the early years. Now, in face of the new situation, Singapore is adjusting its role to adapt to the rapid development of China's ties with Southeast Asian countries. Now, Singapore's relations with China date back to Lee's father, Lee Kuan Yew, the founding Prime Minister of Singapore. Now, nearly 20 years later, Lee Hsien Loong expects relations between China and Singapore to have more influence, not only on the regional economy, but also in terms of regional peace and stability. Singapore grew to an important economic, financial, transport and petrochemical hub and achieved outstanding results under the leadership of Lee Kuan Yew. When he passed away in 2015, Chinese President Xi Jinping sent a message of condolences, calling him an old friend of the Chinese people and the founder, pioneer and promoter of China-Singapore relations. Now, 2 people were found dead and 9 others missing after an explosion ripped through a chocolate factory in West Reading, Pennsylvania, yesterday. West Reading Police Chief Wayne Holden said in a brief statement he read to reporters there where rescue efforts were underway at the scene. Images television show debris piled in the streets with at least 1 fire still burning hours later. The tragedy struck the R.M. Palmer Company, which says on its website it has been making candies since 1948, specializing in seasonal items for Easter, Halloween and Valentine's Day, and employs 850 people. Holden said the explosion destroyed Palmer's building number 2 and damaged neighboring building 1. The cause remained under investigation, although officials ruled out a continuing danger to the area. Besides the 2 dead and 9 missing, several more people were injured. West Reading lies about 100 kilometers northwest of Philadelphia. Now, Spain's first major wildfire of the year in the eastern Valencia region burned into the night yesterday, destroying more than 3,000 hectares of forest and forcing 1,500 residents to abandon their homes. An unusually dry winter across parts of the south of the European continent has reduced moisture in the soil. This raised fears of a repeat of 2022 when 785,000 hectares were destroyed in Europe, more than double the annual average for the past 16 years, according to European Commission or EC statistics. Now, more than 500 firefighters supported by 18 planes and helicopters worked throughout the night and on Friday to tackle the blaze near the village of Villanueva de Vivier in the Valencia region. While firefighters believe they were managing to control the spread of the flame, strong winds and warm temperatures could reactivate it. Environment Minister Teresa Ribera said out-of-season fires were becoming increasingly common. According to the Commission's European Forest Fire Information System, 493 fires destroyed a record of 307,000 hectares of land last year in Spain. Bayern Munich appoints Thomas Tuchel as coach. That and more next in sport. Malaysian professional men's singles ace shuttler Lee Zijia marched into the semi-finals of the 2023 Swiss Open after disposing of Taiwanese Lee Chia Hao. Now, also with him are national men's doubles Ong Yu Sin and Teo Yi Yi, and mixed doubles Goh Soon Huat and Siobhan Lai. Zija, who seems to have found his rhythm again this season, put on a stellar performance as he took just 35 minutes to seal a straight set 21-12, 21-17 victory at St. Jakobshall in Basel. Now, the victory sees the world-ranked fourth player advance into the semi-finals for the second consecutive time after the All England Championships last week. Zija, seeded second, will next face Koki Watanabe in the last four after the Japanese ace down Hong Kong's Lee Chuk-yu 21-12, 21-15 in the other quarter-final tie. National men's doubles pair Ong Yu-sin and Choi Yi also continued to carry the nation's hopes after eliminating Indonesian pair Muhammad Shohibul Fikri and Bagas Maulana. The Malaysian pair lost the first set 16-21 before coming back to record a 21-12, 21-19 win. The third seeds will meet second-seeded Satwi Sairaj Ranki Reddy Chirag Shetty of India in the last four tonight. National professional mixed doubles pair Goh Sun Huat and Siobhan Lai Jamie also lived up to expectations by progressing to the semi-finals when they defeated Thai pair Supak Jomko Supisara Pau Sampran 21-18, 21-18 in a 36-minute clash. Awaiting them are Dutch pair Robin Tebeling and Selena Pick. National sprint champion Muhammad Azim Muhammad Fahmi continues to make waves in the United States. Now, he won the 100-meter sprint at the Florida State University or FSU Relays Championships earlier this morning. At the meet that took place at Mike Long Track in Tallahassee, Florida, Azim, who represented Auburn University, finished the race in 10.32 seconds, leaving 9 other runners in his wake. All the more sweeter, it was the maiden victory for the 18-year-old athlete who made his outdoor tournament debut in Uncle Sam's country after 3 previous appearances in the 60-meter indoor event. Now, the silver was won by Andre Ewers, who finished in 10.49 seconds, while the bronze went to Trey Thorogood, who clocked in 10.51 seconds from Syracuse University. Now, last month, Azim got off to a good start in the United States after breaking his own men's 60-meter indoor sprint national record at the Tiger Paw Invitational. Moving on to football, new France captain Kylian Mbappe lived up to expectations with 2 goals in a 4-0 home win against the Netherlands as the Blues got their Euro 2024 Group B qualifying campaign started in ruthless fashion early today. The Dutch got off to a woeful start as the Blues broke the deadlock after 2 minutes. Antoine Griezmann finishing off a superb move in style with a curl shot from Mbappe's cross inside the area. The visiting defence then made a dog's dinner of Griezmann's free kick, and Dayo Upamecano bundled the ball home to double the advantage 6 minutes later. Now, it got worse for the Dutch when Mbappe made it 3-0 after 22 minutes, rolling the ball in from close range in clinical fashion after being played through by Aurelien Chouameni. The Netherlands had an early chance in the second half with a Memphis Depay free kick, but that was as close as they got with Upamecano and Ibrahima Konate marshalling the French central defence. Mbappe rubbed salt into Dutch wounds, dancing his way towards the area before unleashing a powerful cross shot for the 4th goal and his 38th in 67 appearances. Now, France lead Group B ahead of Greece, who beat Gibraltar 3-0 away. Didier Deschamps' side next face Ireland in Dublin on Monday, while the Netherlands host Gibraltar. Now, Bayern Munich parted ways with coach Julian Nagelsmann yesterday and appointed former Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel as his successor. Nagelsmann, 35, had taken over in 2021 and led the Bavarians to their 10th straight German league crown, but failed to win any other silverware last season. His departure still came as a major surprise just as Bayern prepared to face leaders Borussia Dortmund next week in the Bundesliga and Manchester City in this season's Champions League quarterfinals on the 11th of April. Nagelsmann's successor Tuchel, who had been a long-time Bayern target since their first attempt to sign him in 2018, has penned a deal to 2025. Tuchel won the Champions League for Chelsea in 2021 after replacing Frank Lampard, but has been without a job since being sacked by the English side last year. He built a reputation as a forward-thinking tactician in the Bundesliga during his time at Mainz before taking over at Dortmund and leading them to German Cup success in 2017. The 49-year-old also delivered back-to-back French league titles during his time at Paris Saint-Germain and took them to their first Champions League final in 2020, which they lost to Bayern. A perfectionist and master tactician, Tuchel is equally known for his, at times, difficult relationships with club bosses. In tennis news, Japan's Taro Daniel shocked former world number 2 Alexander Zverev in the second round of the Miami Open yesterday with a 6-love, 6-4 straight sets victory. Now, the German hit 32 unforced errors as 97th ranked Daniel continued his recent good run of form, having also knocked former top 10 Matteo Berrettini out of Indian Wells. The Japanese was scorching hot from the start as he ripped through the opening set without the loss of a game. Zverev, who struggled with fatigue and gave himself an insulin shot during the match, was never able to earn a break point in the contest. Daniel broke for 3-2 in the second set and held serve the rest of the way to finish off his victory in 75 minutes. Daniel's victory is a continuation of a recent trend in which the 30-year-old has registered a massive upset during each of his last 3 events. Now, in Acapulco, he took down number 4 ranked Casper Ruud, and at Indian Wells, he knocked off 23rd ranked Matteo Berrettini. Daniel, ranked world number 97, will face Finn Emil Rusevori next. Meanwhile, defending champion Carlos Alcaraz motored into the third round of the Miami Open with a 6-love, 6-2 win over Argentine Facundo Bagnis yesterday. The Spanish top seed, looking to back up his Indian Wells triumph with a Miami title to complete the coveted Sunshine Double, barely broke a sweat as Bagnis was simply unable to keep pace with the variety in Alcaraz's game. Alcaraz was all business as he whipped through the first set in 24 minutes before Bagnis suddenly showed signs of life when he came back from a breakdown to level the second set at 2-all. But the fight back by Bagnis proved short-lived as Alcaraz quickly reasserted his authority as he consolidated a break for a 4-2 lead and never looked back. Alcaraz, who did not drop a set at Indian Wells, must retain his Miami crown to stay ahead of Serbian Novak Djokovic and hold on to the top spot in the rankings. And that concludes tonight's edition of News at 10. In our top story, Saudi Arabia interest in investing proof of Malaysian political stability. Do tune in to updates at noon coming up tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. over on TV2. I'm Jessica Lee. Thank you for watching and good night.